What we got now? Straight into the Breeders' Cup. Good. So we're all looking at we're looking at the turf races. This is Charlie and I. Charlie, just one for you, so take it away, and then I'll come in after.
Just Inspiral for me in the filly and mare turf. She was very good the last day over a mile, and this track is a real sharp circuit, so I don't see the step up to a mile and a quarter. I actually think around this track it's a real plus for her. She'll love the ground. Obviously, Frankie is flying. I think he sees it as his best chance on the evening. And I'm really keen on Inspiral, and even more so as you're opposing her, which seems to go well for me when I'm with her and you're against her.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, I was against her last time. She was really good last time. Gosh, she absolutely bolted up. It's just more that at the prices, which I haven't got up in front of me, which is rather stupid, but I will do because it adds to my case. So it's 7.10, isn't it? So she is atop the betting, unsurprisingly. Oh no, I haven't got the right race. This is going well. I picked up the 9.10.
She's 3.25.
Thanks, mate.
3.5.
There you go. I would rather back Warm Heart at a bigger price because we know she stays the distance, and Inspiral, she has it to prove at the distance. I can't find many, if any, fillies that have won this having tried the distance for the first time. And obviously, the important thing, it being at the track. But when Dank won it at Santa Anita, she previously won the Beverly D. That's over just half a furlong shorter. Queen's Trust had been tried over 10 furlongs before, possibly even a mile and a half. Iridessa had won over 9, been tried over 10. So I think she's got to prove she wants the distance. Inspiral. She's a Frankel filly, I get that, but there's not much stamina on her dam side, and I think she's worth taking on over 10 furlongs, basically. And I think maybe a little bit too much is made of the track, and I'll come to this in the mile, but how, you've got to be on the speed, and, faster horses at the trip win it. It's not always the case. If they get going turning for home, then you've got to stay to win it. And Warm Heart, I've been massively impressed with, to be honest. 3-year-olds have got a good record in the race. They've got a good record in turf races as a whole. And she's not slow, Warm Heart. She proved that when she won at Newbury and beat Blue Stocking. She's won a couple of times over 10, and I know she stays further, but she's certainly not slow. So I would much rather back her at the prices than Inspiral stepping up in trips. So although I don't make Inspiral an out-and-out lay. So Charlie's with Inspiral, I'm with Warm Heart. Then coming on to the 8:30, I want to be pretty well against Morge, and there's a few I could have backed. Just the reasoning for this, again, is she's a filly that likes to be on the speed, Morge. Her Guineas form is obviously very strong, but if you go back to winners over the mile here, Goldacova won twice here. One of those was from off the pace. The other one was tucked in behind. Wise Dan, I think, wasn't too far away. Wise Dan was off it. Caraconti was well off it, drawn 14. Taurus came from off the pace in 2016. Uni came from mid-division in 2019. Again, I think this is a race where you can come from off it, and I think the market overreacts to horses being well drawn on the speed. So I wouldn't put a line through Master of the Seas out of 14. Songline, I think, is a big danger. She tends to be ridden patiently. She's out of 10. But at the prices, Kalina, who beat Kinross last time at 8.0 out of stall number 11, that's obviously seen as a real negative. But that Kinross form is very good. And I think this could work out absolutely ideally. There's a few Americans and Moors who like to go forward and get on with it. So I will chance her at 8.0. The silly one at Santa Anita is Broom. He is a massive price at 51.0. This is in the Breeders' Cup turf. I think blinkers on will suit him. And when he goes on his travels, particularly to America, he's got a really good record. He ran really well in this race when finishing second to Yibia. And if he can run up to his even a couple of pounds short of his peak, he's potentially third, fourth best in this. Yes, Auguste Rodin will probably win. I'm not convinced on Mostadaf over a mile and a half, but I know this is a tighter track, but I don't know. I'm not convinced King of Steel either, upped in distance. So I think Auguste Rodin out of those three will come out on top, but I can definitely make a case for Broome with blinkers on for the first time, just to sharpen him up from the trip he's been running over this season, is a massive price, and he's often overlooked. And then in the sprint, my heart says I would really love Adam West's horse Live in the Dream to win this, but at 4.5, Sean Corraine, Adam West, and Live in the Dream at the Breeders' Cup is not for me. I think there wasn't a massive element of fluke about the Nunthorpe. I don't think he's a better horse than Highfield Princess and Brad Sell. I think it was a case of Highfield Princess certainly running below form, and there was a bit of York factor in that. You get some funny ones on the straight track there. He showed loads of pace at Keeneland last time. The sectionals were so impressive, and maybe he'll stay there. But these are up against proper American turf sprinters, and the Americans have a really good record in this. I know Glass Slippers won it, but otherwise the other 9 winning trainers in the last 10 years have all been Americans. Caravel, she won the race last year. She's kept her form very well since, and I would far rather back her with Tyler Gaffalione on board at 8.5 than I would 4.5 Live in the Dream. So those are my Breeders' Cup horses.